All right, guys, I'm back here with Thursday, July 12th, and we're going to finish up here with the Dow. Now, I have some members that are, as I was mentioning in the prior video, right, so we try and encourage our members and Twitter followers, YouTube subscribers to consider the other asset classes because this methodology is just as good, and everything trades exactly the same way. You don't have to get caught up in being just, all crypto all the time. So here, this is the Dow, right? So I'm looking at the mini futures contract here. So I have a continuous contract on. Now the Dow futures trades $5 a tick, so it's very affordable, relatively low margin. So there's plenty of opportunity here. The Dow trades very, very technically. So I'm going to show you that in a second. Now, let's start with the daily, right? So we can. It's pretty rudimentary Elliott analysis here. We don't have to struggle too far, or too hard, I should say, to find the count here. So I get a nice little 1, 2. Here's the big 3. Here's my ABC into a 4. It's all pretty technical, right? So we just basic stuff. 2 to the 3. How do we look there? Well, get it right on it. So this, we catch the 38 to the tick. Then we get this double bottom here, excuse me. So we get that, and then look what we've done here. From the 4, we've gone first target, second target, and just wicked through the third target. So pretty good. All right, so we've got some other things we can consider. We'd look at the length of the 1, right? So we're trying to get a sense of where a potential pivot would be on the top. So we take the length of the 1 projected from the 4. Well, we've just gone right into that high probability zone for a wave 3, but that would, so 1618 would be an extreme as relates to the length of the 1 relative projected from the 4, but we could go 2618. I mean, it's there it is up there. So with the Dow, we'd be at roughly 32,000 on the Dow. That would be uber extreme, but we've certainly got a 5-wave structure, right? So this is that's the 09 bottom, as we've moved away, right? No surprise, we've moved in an impulsive manner, right? This is not difficult to get a handle on, and this chop here, all very characteristic of a 4th wave. So if you think about that in terms of where we are in this cycle, I guess we'll have to move this over a bit just so you don't get confused about that. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going up for a 5. So the top is, we're in the 5th of the 5th, right? So at some point here, we're going to get a pretty meaningful correction. So just to put that in context, if this is going to complete, just for fun, let's say we're up here, we'll call it 28,000. Well, we're going to have a pretty good sell-off if we're coming down to make a 50%. That would take us down to about 17,000. So just keep that in the back of your mind, right? That's eventually we're going to pivot here, and we're going to start to come back down. All right, so let me just dig in here a little bit. So we look at this and you say, oh, okay, great. Well, I didn't buy the 2009 bottom, nor did I buy the 16 low here before we went into after the election. I'll say it that way. So after the election, right? I didn't buy the Dow, man. I didn't know. Well, here you go, right? So what do you do now? So what do we care about now, right? You're watching now. You're like, all right, what about now? All right, well, let's go dig into it. I do this because I want you to understand where you are in the count. We're trading into the 5th. So this is not like buying into the 2nd down here or the 4th here. We're into the 5th of the 5th. So keep that in mind in terms of, eventually approaching some sort of a top. There will be a sell-off. It's inevitable. All right, so let's go back here. We'll go, let's see. Let's go... you guys want to get down and dirty. Let's start with the hourly. All right, let's see how we look on the hourly here if we can get into this. Okay, so here's this whole big cluster here that is some sort of a 4, right? So the first thing is you kind of look at it this way. Right? All of this action here and then all of this action here, this is essentially the market going sideways, right? Yes, we get through, but we've got a giant sideways. We've got a range in the market, as your talking heads like to call it. All right, so we got a pretty wide range sitting in the Dow, but that doesn't, boy, is there plenty of good trading in here. So just at first glance, can you see a few things that might be interesting there? Well, does anything here just sort of jump out at you as a possible contender there? Right? I'd like to think we're past trying to prove this, right? So there it is, damn near to the tick. I could probably find, if I really broke this down, went down to the 15-minute, I bet I could find 25 perfect algo trades. just digging into these, right? So point being that you guys, they all trade the same way. You got to get out of the crypto only thinking, right? So let's see. Okay, well, man, I can't afford to trade the hourly. Those moves are too big, man. I got to stay down in the 15-minute. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute. Right. Well, here we can get into this. We can look at this last move down here. So let's just. Right, so I just drew the entire move, right? So there's the entire move on the 60-minute, which I just showed you here, right? Went right to target to the tick. But then as we've gone down, right, this is what I want you to understand. As we've gone down, there have been, what do we get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners in a row, and then coming up, we've got another 6. All right, let's just walk through these, right? So, okay, so we hit our algo target here, and then we start to sell off. Well, with our Elliott hats on, that sure looks like we've got some sort of, that certainly looks like we've got some sort of a 1, 2 going in, right? We know a 2 can go all the way to the 786, can go even a little higher. We can get to the 887. Well, we're just shy of the 786. So sure looks like it's either an A, B, or a 1, 2. All right, well, once we get that pivot identified and we start down, just start looking at this. All right, so here's our first pivot. So first swing down here. All right, so what do we get here? So we go right to the 50, and then we get here, we're a little shy. We come back for a retrace, but then eventually we get the target there. So there's the first one. But take note now, inside of it, right, we have another one. Right, you see it here? So from that pivot, let me get it right on there, right? From that pivot to this swing, we come right back. Here's the 50, here's the Vegas wave, just dips a toe right into the lips of the Vegas wave, rips. So you see the first reaction is here, right? That's the reaction. First target, they get second target. Boom. So we've had 1, 2, 3 winners in a row. All right, now we keep going. We just take the pivot. So we go to the swing low. Now we go to the last swing high. What do we get there? All right, so see, here it is. Get this right on there for you. So what do? Right into the golden zone. You just got to get a little toe in there, right into the zone. Boom, down we go. Target. All right, well, that looks good. Oh, we're off to a start. That's 3, 4 in a row. Let's just keep going. Right? Remember, you trade them until they fail. Okay, so there's the next one in the series. This is why you got to know these are here. Right? This as I said, a series like this can make your month, should trade it right and make your year. Okay, there's the 50. We get, so not only first target, we blow right through first target, straight to second target. Right, so what is that, 6 winners in a row, right? You think the algos are getting paid here? Yeah, they're getting paid. So 6 all the way down. So then we get this action here, right? Well, so if you were trading it, now think about that. So if you're trading the next one, all right, so here's the first tell. Right, so what do? Of course, we go right to the 50 and we start down, but we don't get target. Boom, get stopped out, right? So whether you're in it or not, an algorithm has to stop there, right? So they take 6 winners in a row, right? And then the last one doesn't make target. We get this spike, so now they've changed. Now we've had a trend change, right, as relates to the 15-minute. Okay, so now as we don't make target, we go into this kind of choppy sideways. So all of this becomes just kind of a big cluster. Nobody's making money here because the swings are too extreme. Right, so if you're in now with, you'd be down the 5-minute, I promise you there's, shit, I can see one right there. So we just sit right here. So we've got, looks like this is damn near to the tick. So do you see that? All right, so here, it's 2 ticks off the 50. We go right to target to the tick, right? That's the reaction. We come back down. All right, but we're still, so there's trading in there as we're now dealing with the trend change. And this is exactly what happens as the market bounces around and makes the trend change. Well, it looks like this one, so we just had this one here, right? To the tick. Down we come for the retracement. But if you were on the other side of it, it doesn't look like we get far enough. Right, so here's the 38. We can't make the 50. Can't get there. Now, trend change. Here, we break the 65. So at that point now, algos have flipped to the bull side. Now they're looking for the next 50. Right, so we take our low here. Right, here's the next pivot. Right, do you see it right here? So from the 50, we go right to target. So here's the 50. Right, we get a couple of ticks through it and scream right to target and actually get second target. That would be a slight front run. Actually get the extreme, right? So it makes you think, well, wait a minute. So we're hitting the negative 1618. That's likely a third wave. So you can see the labeling here. So there's some sort of a 1, 2. So it looks like looks like I could go one. This is what it actually looks like. It looks like I've got one. Now here's, with our Elliott hats on, ABC into this as a 2. Well, let me raise that degree here so it's a little easier to spot. All right, so we'll go, let's go micro. Okay, so we get 1, A, B, C into a 2, and then we scream up for a 3. Well, let's check that. If that, with our Elliott hats on, if that's 1, 2, we're looking for some sort of a pivot and a swing relationship that would be tied to the length of that 1 projected from the 2. So let's take our 1 projected from the 2. All right, what do we get right there? Am I on it? All right, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so where's the highest probability for a wave 3? Right here. All right, so we're a couple of ticks shy. Could be a front run on it. That's close enough for me to call that a wave 3. And then we go A, B, C. It looks like we go A, B, C into a shallow C here. All right, so let's think about that. Okay, so if that's 1, well, let's do, just for good force of habit, let's wick off the 1. Here's our 4. Here's our 2. Let's check that 4. So if this is my C wave here, that's my third wave here. All right, so here's potentially, now, so here's the A wave. So this could be ABC, but that doesn't look impulsive. So it looks like I get A, B, C, and then I come down and I've got this as my 4. So I get a bit of a triangle here. So you could think of it this way. You could just get this kind of a thing. This is often what you'll see in a 4. As we get that reaction here, we break, and now we're off for potentially the 5 up here. All right, so guys, the underlying asset does not matter. You got to accept that. And so wait a minute. What's the one thing we forgot? Well, we got to put a pitchfork on it. All right, so let's take that. All right, so we've got this from our, let's try it. So from our wave 1, all right, let's go down to our wave 2 low. All right, coincidence? Do you think that's a coincidence? I tell you, it's not a coincidence. Okay, so what do we have here? Here's our corner pocket right here, right? As I tell you, every time I can show it to you, that's the highest odds in trading, right? 80% probability of making the median line, 80%, right? That guys, you gotta. I don't know what else I can put in front of you to encourage you to consider these assets, right? They're as I will remind you, infinitely easier to trade than crypto. Much easier to be short, much easier, right? You don't have to, as I said, no calculation. You don't have to borrow anything. You're just posting margin for it. Now you got to respect that, and you got to trade with stops, right? So we're not long-term holders in here, right? If we're trading this kind of stuff, you got to respect your stops. But that is from 24,121 to what we hit it at 24,871. That is serious. That's a serious payday, guys. Yeah. And you're taking that, right? So you've got pattern, you've got you've got a fib swing. Let's dig into it. All right, so from my swing low here, right? So we're looking for 3 waves into a wave 2. Right now, so yes, so it's not golden, right? We break the golden, but we know that a 2 wave can easily go to the 786. It's a fight for trend. It's always the push to try and break the low. They can't break it and then look at the reaction. So from this pivot here, knowing that I've had this ABC, just out of curiosity here, I'm looking for a relationship in that ABC. So and I have not checked this, so I don't know, guys. So looking at that, well, there's the. Did you see it there? It's hard to see. So here's the 618. Here's the 100. 100 would have invalidated the count, right? So we'd have gone A, B. We no longer was it a 2. The 618 is sitting here right by the 65. So, that's a judgment call that you have to make. Just one last thing I would check always if I've got 3 pivots like that is looking for the pitchfork the other direction. So too steep on original. Let's go to shift. Maybe modified is going to catch it. Not bad, not perfect, but you've got all of the ingredients here. If you're, assuming we've got a 1, 2, we're looking for the 3. So it's not perfectly into the golden zone, but certainly tradable, right? Right where you'd expect the wave 2, the A, B, and the C into the wave 2. Draw a pitchfork on it. If that low holds, 80%. Best odds in trading. All right, so let me clear this up a little bit, and we'll call this a wrap for the day. All right, so all of that done. Done. So what are we looking for now? So now we would just take the length of our 1 projected from this proposed wave 4 here, and parity is something to pay attention to. That would be the 100%. So the length of the 1, get this right on there. Length of the 1 projected from the 4, we're looking for parity. That would be 100%. But in addition to that, we're looking for the algo play, which would take us. All right, do you see that? So we get a confluence zone up here for this swing. So we have a nice little hot box up sitting up here as a target at what we call it 25, 150. If that's going to go, a reasonable place to be looking for the next reaction. So if you're looking at this, well, if you didn't buy it here, anticipating a 4, well, so what have you got there? It looks like you're in some, well, it looks like that's 5 already. So it looks like you may have at least the beginnings of it looks like that would be. So you might have 1, 2. So let's dig in there just so you guys can get right up to where we are in the market. So this is my 4. Am I right on that? Yeah. Okay, there's my target. So it looks like I can get, so this is the deepest retracement. So it's the same process here. So I would take this pivot here, and I'm going to kind of work backwards, right? So that comes to the 38, makes me think that that's a 4. So clear this up a little bit. I can take this one off. So it looks like maybe 1, so this is what I see here. So it looks like here's my first big push up. There's my 2, there's my 3, there's my 4, some sort of a 5 up here looking for that. Right? So this being the tell, coming to the 38, holding this little ridge. Do you see this here? So that's why you always look left, look for a little ridge of support. If I can get that to click. Right, so at the 38, we get a little confluence here. We've got this prior resistance, all of a sudden becomes support. Now we're off trying to get into that 5th up here. Now, I'm not saying that's the top of the Dow, but I'm saying that's the top of something. Right, so that's likely to be, if we're going up to these targets. Right? We never know for sure, but we've got reasonable targets and we've got probabilities that we can work with. So if that's going to go up as a 1 and we are going to pivot here, then that's setting up as a 1. Then likely we're looking for, let's just, again, I'm hypothetical here. If we pivot there, well, then we're looking for the reaction to come down in 3. Right? So we're looking for something like this to bring us anywhere from the 50, right? So that might come in as support again. Maybe we go to the 618, but since we're looking for a 2, we'd be looking for it between the 50 and the 618, and then we're looking for 3, 4, and 5. So maybe we end up going there. Maybe we get beyond this. Nothing says we must stop up there. Those are just targets where we can anticipate the market working towards and anticipate a reaction. That could be the pivot that sets up the 4 going into the 5, and the whole thing keeps going. Just don't know. You trade them till they fail. So, right, that's pretty detailed breakdown with all the way right up to the 15-minute of where it sits today. So it looks like I've got another 5 underway. We wait for the 3-wave correction. Look for the entry between the 50 and the 618. The same thing, the same way, every chart, regardless of the underlying asset. Until you embrace that, until you build the discipline to do that, you're going to struggle. All right, now, so you want to learn how to do this, you want to really learn how to do this, internalize it so you can do it with your eyes closed damn near, give us a visit. Come on over to TradeDevils.com. We will teach you how to do this. You're not ready to make an investment yet? Come into our public Discord. Just feel us out a little bit. Get a sense of what we're about. You can come over to the public Discord. You won't have full access to everything, but you'll have access to a few channels. You'll have a chance to engage with us. You want to ask some questions. You got some ideas. We're there to help you. Right? The idea is for you to reach the point where you don't need anyone's counsel. We're not looking for a lifetime member. We're looking for you to learn until you're ready to go out on your own. And if you can do it on your own, great. You might tell some people how you learned to do it. But the goal is for you to reach independence, not dependence. I don't want you dependent on me, on our senseis. I want you totally independent so you don't need anyone's counsel. That's the point of everything we're doing here. Yeah. Is it a business? Sure. Yeah. Yep. I've got six trading coaches that I take care of in there, so that they'll take care of you. So yeah, we give a lot away for free, a whole lot. But if you really, really, really want to learn how to do this, you want that individual attention, the kind of things that we can do for you within the members Discord are substantial. We can improve your trading. I can absolutely guarantee you that. All right, guys. With that, give us a follow over on Twitter. We got a kind of a surprise thing coming up. You can find us at Trade Devils. That's our handle on Twitter. Or you can check out our website. That's tradedevils.com. All right, guys. That'll do it for now.